Great, good. Well, welcome everyone. It's just very lovely, very moving seeing you all coming into the Zoom space, seeing lots and lots of different faces. What are we going to do? We're going to dedicate the retreat this evening. That's the main thing we'll do in a couple of different ways. And I'll say a few words by way of introduction, but the main introduction to the retreat will come tomorrow. However, I know that some of you are, particularly these days between the holiday days of Christmas and the holiday days of New York. I know that New Year, some of you will be working. So just wanted to say a few words of introduction this evening to the theme. So maybe I'll just start with a couple of statistics. So we had our last sort of sign up for the retreat about an hour ago. So we're at 109 plus team. Padma Singer was that sign up about 6:30 UK time. And so I think that means we're about 116 with the team, which is fantastic. But the numbers will, of course, they'll vary throughout the retreat depending on what commitments you have and what time zone you're in. We're quite a wide flung bunch, which is great. I think Zoom is really opening up those sorts of possibilities of coming together as a Sangha in ways that we just haven't been able to do before. So by now, I imagine most of you are very familiar with Zoom etiquette and Zoom preferences. So do feel free to either to be not looking at your screen or to turn your video off. Yeah, as and when you wish. Yeah, Vajradevi is our Zoom master, so he'll be the one on the whole muting and unmuting. There's a lot of us, so it'll just help us sort of have the feel. This is a meditation retreat, so we'll just sort of keep in that feel by probably coming in muted, and most of the time probably staying that way when we leave, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, do use the chat for greetings, and do also we'll be using the chat in various ways for questions and comments and things like that, as well as doing that live, hearing your voice, asking the questions. So one of the things that Vajradevi will be doing is recording the sessions. I'm going to say sessions 1 and 2 because of the different time zones, and that's what it says on the program. But for just this time, for the majority of people who are UK based, I will say that session 1 is in the morning and session 2 is in the afternoon. Session 3 is in the evening. So those 2 sessions 1 and 2 will be recorded, and also this session this evening, just in case there's people who aren't able to make it this evening and would like to listen to the first session. So before I go any further, I just want to introduce you to the team on this retreat. The 7 of us. And the team has sort of grown as the retreat's grown. As the numbers have gone up, then we've made requests. A couple of people who are already on the retreat booked anyway, and one, Tejaswini, who wasn't, but very kindly agreed to come. So I think Vajradevi is going to highlight you. So maybe when I mention your name, team people, if you could just unmute and just say a couple of words, perhaps including where you're speaking from. So, well, there's Vajrapriya. Let's start with Vajrapriya. What do I do? I have to mute myself apparently in order for him to speak. Oh, yeah, okay, there we go.
It's not really worth going through that hassle just to say hello everyone. Lovely to see you all, friends and people I don't know who I'll get to know shortly. Yes, hopefully you've all got my email if you've got any questions that crop up, or you can send me chats if there's little technical hitches and so on. Okay.
Okay, first techie, insecure techie moment of the evening over and done with. Okay, Mokshika, do you like to say hello?
Hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm Mokshika, and I'm in New Brighton, which is about 5 miles away from Liverpool, the northwest of England. And yeah, I'm delighted to be here. Yeah.
Thank you. And Tejadarani, haven't seen Tejadarani. Are you around?
Certainly am.
Jolly good.
Hello everyone, I'm Tejadarani and I am in Nestcliff, which is about 7 miles from Shrewsbury, and I'm really pleased to be on the team for this retreat.
Thank you. Dharmapala.
Hello. I'm from Scotland. I'm in Stirling, central Scotland. Yeah, and I'm very pleased to be on retreat again with Vajradevi and all of you. So, hello.
Thank you. Yeah, Tejaswini.
Yes, hello. Yeah, I'm really happy to be on this retreat. What a lovely thing to do, and how lovely to come into the space and see all your faces, including lots of friends. So I'm in Cambridge.
Lovely. Good. And Manisha.
Hello, I am in Sweden. I'm in a little hut on an island in a big lake to the west of Stockholm. As you can probably hear, I'm actually British, but I live here. And yeah, I'm really fascinated to see how this is going to go, because I've never been on a retreat this big before. Although I must say, like Mokshika, who confessed to loving Zoom the other day, I also really like Zoom, and I think it's great. So I'm very interested to see how we're going to make the best of it this week.
Great, thank you all. Realised I didn't say anything about myself. So yeah, I'm Vajradevi. I'm in our little cabin, our little kuti. Vajrapriya and I live together in Shrewsbury, just on the border, or close to the border of Wales, North Wales. Yeah, and this is perhaps I think the third online retreat I've done this year from the kuti. It's a really, really lovely space to do it in, and seemed like a very good thing to do over New Year, to bring in the new year, a very strange year, and to bring in, you know, see it through, if you like, see the old year through and into the new year on retreat. I know what I was going to do. I was going to ask, I mean, you might not want to do it now, but it's great. Everybody's got their name on the screen. And I wonder if it's possible, I know it's not possible with all devices, if at some point you could put where you're from. And so we get a sense of our Zoom mandala. Again, I think Zoom we're not all in one place as we are in retreat, but we're within the same space, within the Zoom space. So we have a mandala, and we'll bring that out a bit more when we do the dedication ceremony. But yeah, if at some point you can put where you're from, that would be lovely to get a sense of that, to see who we're practicing with this week, and also if you like, the different points in the mandala but I'll tell you just a few. Yeah, I like geography. I like places, and so we got about half a dozen people from, I think 5 or 6 from Australia and 2 from New Zealand. That side of the world, and then North America. We've got I think someone zooming in from Vancouver, someone from Mexico, and someone from Maine, and someone from New York. So we've got a few. And yeah, we have, well, I was going to mention the Mid-Essex Buddhist Centre that Vandana Chitta is chatting in from, because I'm not aware, I don't think it's that big, the Mid-Essex Buddhist Centre, but the largest proportion, the largest single grouping of people on the retreat are from the Mid-Essex Buddhist Centre. So there you go. I think it's 11 or 12 people out of 115 are from the Mid-Essex Buddhist Centre, which is pretty impressive. And just to put that in context, the next one down is an impressive 10 people, but that's Birmingham, and Birmingham is a pretty big city. I think it's the 2nd city in the UK. So well done, Mid-Essex Buddhist Centre. Where else did I want to mention? Okay, so Northern Europe, there are a number of people from Sweden and Norway. Almost got into trouble with Manisha the other day by suggesting that Belgium might be in Northern Europe, but I knew it wasn't. So we have someone from Belgium in Central Europe. And I keep seeing a flashing up of, there's possibly someone from the Netherlands as well, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it doesn't look like it from the bookings, but it looks like it from what I see on the blog site. So anyway, we are spread out. It's lovely, just really lovely, just all these different beings in different places, a mandala of beings, and a mandala of qualities, if you like. I love the image of Indra's net, this jeweled net of qualities, and I think, yeah, we could perhaps relate to this to the theme of the beautiful mind, these beautiful qualities of mind that we're going to be well, evoking, but also recognizing within ourselves. That's the most important thing we can do, is recognize them within ourselves. Once we recognize them within, we recognize them in other people really easily. So the beautiful mind, uncontrived mindfulness. I'll say a little bit more about uncontrived mindfulness. I'll say a lot about uncontrived mindfulness. But the beautiful mind, Kalyana, this quality of Kalyana, which is beautiful or ethically skillful or ethically lovely, those qualities of the heart and mind that are of spiritual value and spiritual beauty. And often they're the association with kusala, these beautiful qualities, is with the Brahma Viharas, with metta, mudita, karuna, and upekkha. But of course, any quality that is of an ethically skillful and ethically lovely bent is kusala, is skillful, is kalyana, is beautiful. So through the retreat, we're going to be looking at another grouping of qualities, and that's the spiritual faculties, the 5 spiritual faculties. Faculties of faith, energy in pursuit of the good, wisdom, mindfulness, and faith. Yeah, the Buddha said the full development of all 5 spiritual faculties is what makes one an arahant. So that's the potential, the faculties which then go into the balas, the powers, so fully developed. These qualities, these faculties take us the whole way. They take us to awakening. They make up the whole of the spiritual path. But at a if you like, a lower level of mind and heart than the arahant, we can use the faculties as a model for the beautiful mind in any moment, for being able to recognize those particular qualities. And particularly looking at to balance out those qualities of mind. And I'm going to introduce a particular approach to meditation, a particular way of practicing mindfulness as a path to wisdom and insight practice, and a receptive mindfulness in a very, very receptive way. So as well as the 5 spiritual faculties, I'll be drawing on the Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha's teaching, primary teaching on mindfulness as a path to insight. So there's obviously overlap there between the Satipatthana Sutta, the qualities that we're developing there, and the spiritual faculties. And the most obvious overlap is with sati, is with mindfulness. But it's also there with wisdom, with insight. Yeah. So perhaps we'll focus most strongly on mindfulness and the wisdom qualities, but we will draw on all of them to be in balance. So I just want to say before we go on to we're going to do a short meditation and the dedication ceremony and end with chant. But I just wanted to say a few words about daily life practice, if you like. I think I said something in the letter and possibly something on the website as well about how, if you like, the opportunity, the challenge and the opportunity with this type of retreat where perhaps you've got different and they might feel like competing interests or things that you want to do or need to be doing, family commitments, work commitments. If you don't have those things and you can just be on retreat, then you may find that there are competing desires. Sometimes when we're at home, perhaps it can feel a bit harder to leave aside some of the things that when you go off and retreat, there just isn't an issue, that you're just not around your CD collection or your Netflix, blah, blah, whatever it is. It can feel more straightforward. But I think online retreats just make possible that bringing the retreat home, that intersection between the retreat self and the home self. I think there's a real opportunity there. So my invitation is just to, whatever you do, whatever you need to do, and sometimes perhaps whatever you choose to do, can you take awareness with you? Take mindfulness with you. So yeah, you might need to be cooking, you might need to be looking after your kids or spending some time sending emails or whatever it is. Every now and again, can you just remember to be aware? And I'm going to be saying a lot more about this, about how to do this. But rather than looking at particular activities as being of spiritual value, what we're going to be exploring during the week is the quality of the mind with which we do those activities. It is what we'll be focusing on. The qualities of the beautiful mind, the qualities of awareness and wisdom. So whatever you're doing, and that for some of you, I know that will mean looking after yourselves. I know and some people with some health concerns, health issues. So whatever you're doing, whatever you need to do, can you do it with awareness? So we're going to do the dedication ceremony, partly because I think it plants our practice firmly in the context of the Bodhisattva ideal, that we're practicing not simply for our own benefit to relieve our own dukkha, but for the benefit of all. So we're growing those beautiful qualities of heart and mind, if you like, to nourish our own being, to fill our own stream. That lovely image that the Buddha has, fill the stream, our own stream, but let that overflow the loveliness, was the phrase that came to my mind. That sense of positive conditionality, and the world needs the loveliness more than ever. So just because I've got that little reading here, I'm going to read it. It's just quite evocative. So I've been studying the survey with some women friends locally, and we came across this recently. So the Buddha says, just as when on some hilltop, when rain is falling in thick drops, that water, coursing according to slope, fills the hilltop clefts and chasms and gullies. These being filled up, fill the tarns. These being filled up, fill the lakes. These being filled up, fill the little rivers. These being filled up, fill the great lakes, and the great rivers being filled up, fill the sea, the ocean. So it can feel like there's just something that's quite sort of a modest quality in ourselves, but it's, we're not starting from zero. We all have an accumulation of positive qualities, of positive values, of meaningful connections, meaningful experiences. And so if you like, we don't forget that when we come on retreat. We don't start from scratch. As I said, we're going to end after meditation, dedication ceremony, and a chant, and we're going to do all this in half an hour. But I think chanting on Zoom or ritual on Zoom is quite interesting. Not always successful, I have to say. I'm not always. It's a learning experience. That's what I'll say. Vajradevi and I actually discovered on the last retreat, having spent the past 22 years together, we discovered that we couldn't actually chant in tune. So we've had to make some accommodations around that. So what we decided to do is try out using one of the Tara Loka chants this evening. So we're going to chant the Sabae Sata Sukhi Hontu chant, and the Tara Loka, I think it might be Hridaya Gita, is going to start us off, and then the rest of the Tara Loka team will come in and we'll join in with them. So you'll all be muted for that, and Vajradevi and I won't be, because the recording will come through us, or at least one of us won't be. We'll see how it goes anyway. We thought we'll just try it and see if it feels weird, then we'll do that. It might go the way of the cloud mantra last time, which was a little bit odd, I have to say. Okay, so this dual mandala of qualities, I just want to mention that one more time, because I think in the UK, there are not usually that many retreats happening over this time of year. And the ones that are happening tend to be for newcomers or for regulars. But this year, there's a plethora of retreats on between Christmas and New Year. And I just wanted to mention a couple so that we can feel not only connected with within our own 101 people here at the moment, but connected in with these other retreats that are happening within the Tree Ratna community. So I know there's a retreat happening. Well, I don't know if it's at Taraloka, but it's being it's around Taraloka Mandala, if you like. Samantha Badri and Ratna Vandana are leading that retreat. And then Vasantra's leading a retreat at Adhisthana. I think there's a lot of people on that retreat. And then Tejananda, I heard recently, is leading a retreat for the Swedish Sangha, and in Dharma, well, not in Dharmagiri Retreat Center. That's where he would have been. And then Parami is leading a retreat, I think starting tomorrow around Dana Kosha. I think the men's retreat is just finishing off now. And there's also Prasadavati in Germany, who is leading a retreat over the New Year. So, as I say, there's like waves and waves of practice going on just within our own community. And yeah, there are many, many Buddhist communities. So there's a lot of practice going into the world at the moment, and we're part of that. Okay, let's set up to sit. Actually, before we do that, we'll salute the shrine. Do I need to unplug? We'll salute the shrine in unison. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Namah. Om Aham. Okay, so we'll just sit for between 10 and 15 minutes. I'll say a few things at the beginning. and then leave you to sit. So talking about the beautiful mind, Kalyana qualities of mind, it can be easy to overlook the subtle qualities. But that's what we'll rest with now. Just a simple awareness. Just allowing yourself to sit. Just as you are, not expecting anything in particular, but just allowing yourself to take your place in the mandala. Just sitting here. Not even trying to connect with anything at the moment, with your body or the breath or the sense of yourself sitting. Just allowing yourself to be completely agendaless. And it may well be that you notice things, and that's fine. You might feel the silence of not trying to do. The spaciousness of simply being here. Perhaps there's a sense of an inner listening happening quite naturally. A sense of it's enough just to sit like this, just to simply be aware. Sitting with the mindfulness faculty alive within you in some way. And without you doing anything in particular, it's connecting you to your experience. Your experience as it is, and whatever it is. dedication ceremony. And just to say, we're going to use the word place. We dedicate this place to the three jewels, and in the sense of each having a place in the mandala. So it's a place in space. So we'll do this in call and response. We dedicate this place to the three jewels.
We dedicate this place to the three jewels.
To the Buddha, the ideal of enlightenment to which we aspire.
To the Buddha, the ideal of enlightenment to which we aspire.
To the Dharma, the path of the teaching which we follow.
To the Dharma, the path of the teaching which we follow.
To the Sangha, the spiritual fellowship with one another which we enjoy.
To the Sangha, the spiritual fellowship with one another which we enjoy.
Here may no idle word be spoken.
Here may no idle word be spoken.
Here may no unquiet thought disturb our minds.
Here may no unquiet thought disturb our minds.
To the observance of the 5 precepts.
To the observance of the 5 precepts.
We dedicate this place.
We dedicate this place.
To the practice of meditation.
To the practice of meditation.
We dedicate this place.
We dedicate this place.
To the development of wisdom.
To the development of wisdom.
We dedicate this place.
We dedicate this place.
To the attainment of enlightenment.
To the attainment of enlightenment.
We dedicate this place.
We dedicate this place.
Though in the world outside there is strife.
Though in the world outside there is strife.
Here may there be peace.
Here may there be peace.
Though in the world outside there is hate.
Though in the world outside there is hate.
Here may there be love.
Here may there be love.
Though in the world outside there is grief.
Though in the world outside there is grief.
Here may there be joy.
Here may there be joy.
Not by the chanting of the sacred scriptures.
Not by the chanting of the sacred scriptures.
Not by the sprinkling of holy water.
Not by the sprinkling of holy water.
But by our own efforts towards enlightenment.
But by our own efforts towards enlightenment.
We dedicate this place.
We dedicate this place.
Around this mandala, this sacred spot.
Around this mandala, this sacred spot.
May the lotus petals of purity open.
May the lotus petals of purity open.
Around this mandala, this sacred spot.
Around this mandala, this sacred spot.
May the Vajra wall of determination extend.
May the Vajra wall of determination extend.
Around this mandala, this sacred spot.
Around this mandala, this sacred spot.
May the flames that transmute samsara into nirvana arise.
May the flames that transmute samsara into nirvana arise.
Here seated, here practicing.
Here seated, here practicing.
May our mind become Buddha.
May our mind become Buddha.
May our thought become Dharma.
May our thought become Dharma.
May our communication with one another be Sangha.
May our communication with one another be Sangha.
For the happiness of all beings.
For the happiness of all beings.
For the benefit of all beings.
For the benefit of all beings.
With body, speech, and mind.
With body, speech, and mind.
We dedicate this place.
We dedicate this place.
I can play it if you want me to.